The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. Hey guys, Steve-O here for Movies and TVs on the Ball, and is with me as always.
Jay,
And we are doing, I guess it's going to be a tradition now,
right.
where we are going to be looking at for Halloween. This is kind of a double dose for kind of getting the Halloween spirit. We looked at last year the Treehouse of Horror 1,
Right.
and I figured since we've started a podcast called Don't, a Simpsons podcast for the channel, we've decided that we're going to look at the Treehouse of Horrors every Halloween.
Right.
And this week, we're going to take a look at Treehouse of Horror number 2 from season 3, because Treehouse of Horror started in season 2.
Right.
Um, uh, Jay, what's your thoughts on? So I guess what's your thoughts on the Treehouse of Horror as
This
a
is
whole? Well, it's like a whole. Well, yeah,
I guess they were always sort of my favorite of the episodes, I feel like in general.
oh yeah, because you
Yeah.
kind of get three for the price of one, kind of
Right.
thing. Um,
What about you?
I like there's some that I like. There's some that probably are a little bit better than there's like the Marge. There's like season 9 Treehouse of Horror 8
Uh
where Marge is a witch was a pretty good one.
yeah.
The the Shining as
Right.
he's called, which I think was season 5 for the Treehouse of Horror 4. Um and then there was like I think Bram Stoker's Dracula
Okay.
where Mr. Burns plays Dracula. Those were my favorite. Then there was also ones like, you know, I think that first one was pretty good for, I think the Raven was the best
Right.
part of that first one. So now we're at Treehouse of Horror 2, which came out during season 3. And we've got three stories that take place. The first
Right.
one is
The first one was the monkey's paw.
The Monkey's Paw. The second one is
Bart has like uh magic powers.
Bart has the powers, and I'll get into kind of more detail on that. And the third one is basically a Frankenstein
Right.
kind of storyline. So, the monkey's paw. Do you know anything? So, the monkey's paw. We'll start with the monkey's paw first. Jay, so what was your? Did you know anything about the original storyline? Let's kind of go into kind of how the
I
original
don't know about the original, but it's a pretty common tale with a you have a monkey's paw that grants wishes, but they always turn out bad.
bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so So it was a story by W. Jacobs and from like 1902. And I think it's so yeah. So this one, so it's kind of so I've kind of and I think it's like each wish is the wish, but you kind of like you like wish for $1 million, but you end up becoming the money comes poor. You know, it's
It's like someone you love dies and you get the inheritance,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
their will or
The will or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
life insurance.
yeah, yeah, and like, cause I think there was a Twilight Zone episode where there's a genie and he gives them four wishes
Yeah,
instead of the usual three, and each of the wish comes with sort of a
twist.
twist to it.
Right.
Like he makes $1 million, but they can't afford everything, you know. And then they're like in that Twilight Zone episode, he wishes to be ruler of the country where he can do anything he wants without having. And the twist is he's Hitler and it's the end of the war.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of a nice twist, but if you haven't seen it, see it. And sorry for ruining it, but
Spoilers.
spoilers. But this one is pretty good. The Simpsons are in Morocco for some reason, and Homer
Right.
it walks into actually this guy this
Like
is
a shady booth, like a sort of like a an open air market,
open air market, and Homer sees that he has
monkey's paw.
he sees that his monkey's paw, and Homer gets the monkey's paw, and he's warned by the merchant
Right.
that this monkey's paw will, basically there's grave dangers
Right.
into this monkey's paw. So they go home, and Homer and the family gathers around, and they ask what they want to be, or what wishes they want. And they say, we can only use three wishes,
Like you have four with
four wishes. I'm sorry,
because they only have four fingers.
four fingers. Right,
Right.
right, right. It's four wishes, and I guess there's four people in the family. Well,
Well, yeah, Marge doesn't get a wish.
Marge need a wish. So there's four of the family members do get wishes. So Homer, no, who
Maggie wishes first,
Maggie grabs it and wishes first, and she wishes for
like a golden
golden
pacifier.
pacifier. Right, right, right. And they're like, "You just ruined her wish." And then Homer, or not Homer, it's Bart wishes to be
Rich
rich
and
and
famous.
famous. So they end up becoming like everywhere, and it's kind of a parable, but it's kind of I think during this season is when Simpsons really became sort of
In the popular culture.
bigger
Yeah.
popular culture. They don't have a cowman
Uh,
and that kind of thing. And so I liked how they kind of played on that
yeah.
a little bit. And I think that they dealt with more of the popularity of the Simpsons in at that time when they were kind of larger than life, because there was like there's like a pop up of them doing like
Right. There's like billboards and like
billboards
like
and
cassette or like music stuff.
music stuff, albums and stuff, and everyone's like, "I'm sick of the Simpsons." They get all sick of the Simpsons,
Right.
and then and I liked how at the beginning, where when they wish they were rich and famous, they wish they were rich, and like Homer just opens his wallet and money just
Right.
flows out, and then you had
Lisa wishes for world
Lisa wishes
peace.
world peace, and so I love they go to we see like United Nations and like I'm sorry about the wars and stuff, and
Right.
like people start dancing around, and this gives the or this uh pulls the attention of Kang and Kodos,
Right.
and they go, "Oh, poor humans, they have world peace." And
Right for the picking.
right for the picking,
Right.
and then they come down, right,
Yeah.
the
And then they come down to the Springfield.
Springfield,
Right.
and they sort of start kind of
They
taking
conquer the earth
conquering the earth
with
with
slingshots
the slingshots, and the kid and everybody's running,
and a club.
and the club, and I think Mo that gets hit with the slingshot,
Uh,
or
I can't remember who gets hit by the
but
slingshot, but yeah.
yeah, so and then um so it kind of I like how the disaster happens. Then Bart, who was it then? Homer was it?
Makes the final wish.
Homer makes the final wish,
Right.
and he wishes for
A turkey
a
sandwich.
turkey sandwich,
Right.
and he gets his turkey sandwich,
But then the turkey's dry.
and the turkey's raw. I like how that was sort of a metaphor. And then commercial break. And okay, so let's. What was your thoughts on that? I guess we'll go through kind of after each. What do you think of that one? I thought that was a pretty clever episode, or a clever segment.
Yeah. I feel like it did go on a little bit where like they get passes off to Ned and it
Yeah,
ends. I think it would have been better if it ended with him just being like no at the turkey sandwich would have been a better
yeah,
ending.
been a better ending. I th- I think that could have worked, but I like how Ned gets the thing because they throw it out, and Ned like picks it up, and he wishes.
And all the wishes don't go bad for
Oh,
him.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then we have commercial break, and then part two or story two
Right.
is
Is where Bart has sort of like these special powers. And I think you
Bart's
said this one was a also a Twilight
Twilight Zone
Zone.
episode. So this one was based on a Twilight Zone episode called "It's a Good Life" or "Good Place." It's a Good Life, I think, is what it's called. Uh,
Okay. I wonder if it's similar. There's a I don't
it's
know
a
if you
good life.
watch the animated Justice League where there's an episode where there's like a kid running a whole town who has sort of like these psychic powers.
No, it's called "It's a Good Life,"
Okay.
and it was season three, episode eight of Twilight Zone, and he turns into, and then they did like a sequel series. They did like a Twilight Zone in like the 2000s
Uh-huh.
where they said it's a good life where it's the son it's his daughter,
Okay.
so it's kind of an intro. So like, does this look
I don't know if ever I don't think I've ever seen the Twilight Zone episode.
um does this look familiar?
No.
Probably. But anyway, he basically like, makes people do whatever they want. He kind of stares, he gives them the stare.
Uh-huh.
And this one, and that's kind of when I watched the Twilight Zone episode talking about it. I was like, I think I've seen the Simpsons version of this.
Right.
Simpsons take a lot from the Twilight Zone. I've noticed in
Right.
like these first couple of Treehouse of Horror films or Treehouse of Horror episodes. But this one, Bart comes down to breakfast and everyone's super nice to him.
Right.
And he's like, and Bart starts to so he sits down and Marge is nice. Bart's is like, oh, Homer, Homer sits in his chair and he gets out of his chair and kind of cleans it up a little bit. Then at home then at school, uh
He's pretty much like on a throne.
he's sitting on a throne and he's doing his test like the who was founded America, and it was like these
Some guy.
some guy, I think, was it really
Yeah.
some guy, and then like who was, and Bart was getting all these questions right, and or all the answers right, and everybody's like so afraid of him
Right.
because, and I think in the Good Life, there in the one from what I've seen, he basically everybody he said they're in a house and there's like a storm and they're all trapped with this kid, and I think at you don't know why
Okay.
throughout this thing, and then this guy snaps, and then same thing kind of happens in this one where Homer snaps at Bart,
Yeah.
and Bart does the whole um zonks him out, and turns Homer into a Jack in the Box.
Right.
Now, this is done going back to this based on the Twilight Zone episode. He does this to this guy in the Twilight Zone, and it's like, half of his body
Okay.
is like, and he's got a little like little crown on his thing, and he's moving back and forth. It looks so cool, like
Okay.
kind of really disturbing, but
Right.
also kind of like just how they did it in the
Right.
60s. But in this one, Homer's got kind of a jester hat on, and his head's moving like this, and so Bart he says, "Let's try to work things out together."
Right.
And so they go to a baseball game, and there's a home run, there's a fly ball,
Right.
and it hits Homer right in the head, and Bart gets the ball. And I like that episode. I think now watching, at least kind of knowing where it came from, I
Right.
kind of understand it a little bit easier,
Yeah.
Um, but it's not as creepy as the Twilight Zone episode because I think it's more fun and comedic. But I really like that one. I think it worked pretty good. Then the third one is Homer is working at the plant
Right.
and Mr. Burns is trying to find a specimen for his new
Robot.
robots.
Right.
And this is kind of got like, and so he finds Homer, and so Homer is basically sleeping on the job, and Mr. Burns is looking for a specimen for his new project.
Right.
And his project is to basically he becomes Dr. Frankenstein,
Right.
and he's got this like kind of 60s sci-fi robot that he basically kills or knocks out Homer
Right.
and lobotomizes him and puts his brain into Homer's
The
or the
robot.
robot's head.
Right. He's
And
kind of
so
like the perfect worker.
yeah, perfect worker. And he when he puts it in the head, Homer just or the robo robot goes straight to the
Donuts. The
donuts
donuts.
and through the wall and
Yeah.
basically
Takes a nap.
takes a nap, and then Mr. Burns gets crazy and or gets angry and tries to
Right. Eventually, first tells Ned to just flush the brain away, and then Ned convinces him to sew him
was
back
it
together.
Ned? No, not Ned.
No, yeah, not sorry.
Smithers.
Smithers. Sorry.
Just flush
Yeah.
the brain away,
Right.
and then Smithers to kill or to turn him back,
Right.
and then
The robot crushes Doctor, not Doctor, Mr. Burns,
it crushes Mr. Burns, right? And
and
then
then sort of that dreams ends with like Homer waking up and has Mr. Burns' head sort of spit on his.
this on his head,
Yeah.
yeah, and then that was the end. Um, so that was kind of the third one. Um, I guess the way it opened,
Right. Is they everyone got back from trick or
trick or
treating,
treating, and they eat a bunch of candy,
and then Marge tells them you're just gonna make you have bad like
but
nightmares.
not nightmares, and then each segment is a nightmare. I think
Right.
was Lisa's was the first one,
Right. With the
which
monkey's
is the
paw,
monkey's paw. Bart was the second one
right.
with
The magic powers.
the it's a good life scenario, and then Homer's is the brain.
Right.
I guess we could say, looking at this, I think this was a for the second Treehouse of Horror. I think they knew what they were doing with this one.
Right.
You know, I think this one was kind of a plane of consciousness. You
Gotcha.
know,
I guess compared to the first one, what was better? Do you think one or two?
one had the Raven with James Earl Jones as the voice. So it's something classical about that episode.
Right.
But I did like kind of what they did with the eating the candy, the dreams, but yet they weren't all interconnected, kind of, because I think sometimes they're interconnected
Yeah.
in some ways. Um, I liked how. What was your favorite out of the three?
Out of three, I think the second one, the Good Life
The
one.
Good Life. I think the
Yeah.
Good Life. I think the Good Life one was good because I think after seeing sort of like knowing it through like the Twilight Zone, I understand it a lot better. And when I kind of got the um Jack in the Box thing, and especially when he goes to play baseball, when they go and
Right.
watch a baseball game, Homer gets hit in the head as a Jack in the Box with the baseball, and
Right.
Bart, and they kind of have a really good relationship. I thought the Frankenstein one was a pretty good, kind of good nightcap in a way for the episode. But I think that I like the way it worked with the candy, like I said, and I think it worked really well. I think the Good Life was probably the best one.
Right.
Um, but uh, let's see. Let's see. And here's some trivia for you. The trivia says Ouchie pitched. Okay, let's see. The Monkey's Paw segment is based on a short story by W. Jacobs. Uh, and they made fun of Charlie Brown as well with the Great Pumpkin.
I missed that.
I think it said in the opening, a group of trick or treaters walk in by
Okay,
wearing sheets.
gotcha. Must have been at the
So
very
I think
start.
it works pretty good. I think I think it wasn't as, I think the segments in the first one, like the first one, it was always the, to serve man kind of story.
Oh,
Um, the haunted house,
right,
and then the Raven. I thought it was sort of classical. There was, and I think they really did draw, because if you think about it, the Twilight Zone came out in the 50s to the 60s. Simpsons came out in the 90s. So they had really kind of like a 30-year, it was only 30 years old
right,
when the Twilight Zone came out at the, Simpsons and Twilight Zone. So I kind of liked it watching the episodes of the Twilight Zone. I kind of understand a lot of these Simpsons references now.
right,
But I like two. I think having, this episode also shows Kang, kind of a repeat of Kang and Kodos,
right.
who kind of, will slowly become part of the opening
Treehouse of Horror.
Treehouse of Horror openings.
Right.
And I think Treehouse of Horror 2 worked really well. If you could rank, which one was your favorite? Did you say
I think the second story was my favorite.
the
The Good Life.
Good Life, the Bart with powers?
Right.
Yeah, I would probably say I like the
Third one.
brain. The third one was pretty good for just being what it is, but I really thought that um the third one worked. I thought they all were really well. I think the Monkey's Paw, they could have done a lot more with the Monkey's Paw, but
Right.
you really only have like what, 8 minutes for each to do like a three-part story, three-part Treehouse of
Right.
Horror. You really got like 8 minutes for each sort of segment. So the Monkey's Paw was probably the funnest, but I think funniest was probably the Frankenstein, the Robo Frankenstein. I
Right.
think the most scare. Which one do you think was the most, if you could say, scare, freaked you out the most?
I would still say the second
The
one.
Good Life.
Yeah, just having Bart have that much power is sort
Yeah,
of scary. Yeah.
yeah. So that's our look at the Treehouse of Horror 2 from season 3.
Right.
We'll probably you want to, what's our next video?
What were you saying? We still got the Mask of Zorro to get to.
Do, but we probably do that if we'll probably do that in November.
Yeah.
Um, but we'll probably do Mask of Zorro is probably next. It'll be coming. It's just 2 hours and 30 minutes long, so we need time to
Right.
actually watch it and record
Okay.
it.
Right.
And we'll probably do before that maybe another
You think another
more.
form like I think we're talking like maybe Casper, maybe something.
I think we might do Casper just celebrated its 30th anniversary, so we'll probably do Casper
Oh,
next, and then uh, Mask of Zorro will probably be our next film.
gotcha.
So I'm Steve,
I'm Jay.
and if you're watching this on Halloween, have a happy Halloween. Oh, and let us know what your favorite episode or segment of this Treehouse of Horror is as well in the comments below. And which one did you dislike the least? Uh, but thank you guys, and happy Halloween. Bye.